Visionary Network. Cheers.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us today on the Higher Learning TV show. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. We're here to start your week off on a stress relief session. And today's topic is what is your TDJ? Say, what do on the possibility and share this video with us. Share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Happy birthday, one day. We're celebrating birthday. Happy birthday to Donald from Greenwood. Congratulations to you. Thank you for that. Also, congratulations to Dr. Elise Damon of the Westside Memphis Coalition, where we met. Where we all met. A young lady by the name of Chelsea Louise Love. She was Democratic for Cook County Circuit Court Judge. I said, wow, this is a new girl. So you go to my page, Zelda Speaks.com. You'll see her excerpt of the yes, it is. Oh, and thank you to Admiral Nelson Bay for those super certified. Have to come up with customers to live through this state. Let us keep in prayer the sick and the shut in, those who are experiencing the welfare of the prayer for who is not we still will see prayers of this. A lot of people. And it is 2 minutes time if you are headed out to this point. You will be glad to know that it's going to take you some time to get wherever you're going because it's Monday, work, it's crazy, but that's what it is. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Parents. If you are a entrepreneur, owner of a business, different products or services to sell, and if it is to become part because they're dedicated to that until today. So if you use the code for will use my name and get 10% discount. It's $100. So if you get $100 to shop immediately by using communication and CEO for different thanks to those who can support this produce. And every day we're continuing. But as you are coming out this one, know that there is going to be a little bit of it always is. So do allow yourself to make a difference. So it sounds like when you get out there. Right now, there are storms headed our way 2 to 4 inches really tomorrow on first day beginning of the storm. With sub-zero weather. We're lucky if we get to the freezing point, which is 32 degrees. Looking at delays on CTA, there are no credit delays, but for Metro, the number 800 trains been delayed 30 minutes. So we expect delays. Metro also, there's a street delays in Washington State, which is closed, so we expect delays here. We headed outbound in Kennedy, 2017, 2020 out, just earlier crash. On the East 25 and 21, on the I-10 house, it's only at 29 and 24 out. On the Stevenson 21 and 19 on the coast. On the Dan Ryan, you'll use it delays 952 downtown, which is 19 minutes. It's 410 in 9 and due south of Lake Shore Drive. It's 5 other package. Engine here at straight it out. Anyway, we also got 9 minutes. And that's your time. It's sponsored by Mindffulness of Mindffulness. If you are a business owner or entrepreneur, it's not too late. Excuse me. It's time for the word for the day. This is my house is real. Submit the daily word. Monday, January 8th, my inner work manifests what I desire. My inner work. So we're not talking about the work that goes in. Hey, good job, so on and so forth. Inside, all the things that we do. My inner work manifests what? All work of manifestation begins inward. If we say we want a certain experience, beautiful, fulfilling relationship, a job, body, home, whatever it is that we're asking for, we must do the inner work to bring it through. Our spirit must define it as so before it becomes so in our physical world. Therefore, if you genuinely want what you say you want, begin by doing your inner inner work. That's what this is. Inner work. That's what the breathing is all about. When I do my creative work, I look inward at what I am affirming. I examine what I am feeling about what I desire to experience. Hmm. Let's say that again. When I do my creative work, I look inward of what I am affirming, and I examine what I am feeling. We be all up in our feelings. What I am feeling about what I desire to experience. The feelings I harbor about what I want, what I receive. I am doing my inner work, my manifesting work, whatever I am experiencing. I faithfully do my inner work for today. Thank you for being through the around through the Christ within. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. And that's James 2:26. And if you would like to receive those daily inspirations, if there's only one drop, you could be on the list but cannot respond to what he seems to become. The list is so big, it's not, your phone pings all the way. You don't hear that often. So, this list is extensive. You don't hear that big, not respond. But the text is the number. This number here includes you, and I will send your information. I'm sorry, newsletter. So, I'm sorry, if you're on the switchboard and you are listening, if you would like to text us your information, put in Monday Morning Mindfulness so I'll know what it is exactly that you're running. You can text us at 312-383-9740. Slow down, so it's 312-383-9740. You too will be on the list for that. So this is where the inner work begins. We're talking about doing the work that sets us up for epic success. That is life. This is the true work. It's clear that comes with easy. If you just start, so we have the privilege to get that goal. If you start acting and you have faith that it is true that you do it, that is the experience that you and it is ordained, it is hard to have it experience. You don't have it experience that, it is the best. So let's do it. Okay. Anyway, remember to set those PPRs for as soon as it's that is good. Tuesday at 6, Tuesday 1, or 10 on 19, 24/7 on the World Wide Web and higher than the TV. And it is more time for your Monday morning mindfulness meditation. This is the inner work we're talking about. This is the inner work. If you have anything going on in your life that you don't want, or anything going on in your life that you do want, this is the place you turn to manifest because all the inner work that I just shared with you, this is part of it. So even if you're in the bed, it's just something to sit up straight in the chair, feet flat on the floor. You see, this breathing exercise is your connection to the divine because we all breathe very shallow. And I'm trying to be more aware, more conscious of my breath. When I'm just driving, because you can drive me very intense without all these crazy people. That's why I drive slow. And now the slow lane is the fast lane because everybody's driving it. But I feel I'm still in the slow lane. I'm doing the minimum necessary. Wherever I'm going, I'm going to do that when I get there. Anyway, just start the process. Breathing in the from time to time, you can hear this sound of your lungs. It's just a reminder for you to focus, get out of your head. All you should be doing is doing right now. Get into your heart. Breathe. Listen to the breath. Is it congested? Clear? Even right now, if there's any room, you have to really get that deep about it. Ooh, but we're going to do the conscious movement for this, right? Today I'm going in this. I'm sitting in my bed. And if you haven't had your tea or your half a lemon squeeze or two spoon, you get it. Okay, all right. Let's just I'm doing it anyway because this is where we phase out the world and tune into doing this. This is dealing with all the garbage, TikTok, all the social media. That's what it is. Through the nose, hold it. Once more, in your visit, hold it. Once more, in your visit, hold it. And as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, you want to look at the close your eyes. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't be looking at the close your eyes. You should really be looking at the inside of your eyelids as you breathe in and breathe out. Doesn't matter if you breathe it in and breathe it out. You are breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. To the rhythm. As you breathe in, you breathe in faith and you blow it out. You blow out fear. Breathe that fear. Yeah, let's do that again. Let's breathe in. Breathe in faith. Breathe it. Breathe out fear. Feel all that negativity. Breathe in faith. Breathe it. And faith is that which is guide, regard, and breathe in. Giving thanks for the power of the breath because it is the short breath. It is long. Is it? And the breathing in, the breathing out. Look at you! Breathing on your own. This is funny. Do that. Take one long last deep breath up. Bring that energy up to the top of the head. Physically stretch and give thanks to the power of breathing. As we breathe back and forth, knowing that we're in the right place. Bring the power of the breath down to the face, forehead, the shoulders as we rotate those shoulders backwards and forwards. we live through the blood because the body needs movement, and most of us sit at computers all day. We don't have to raise the hands up your head and just lift it out, bring them back down. Okay. Raising your hands above the head, blow it out. Raising those hands one more time, and let it. And as you exhale, turn to the side and get that body stretch. All back here, so that's nothing to hold on to. Exhale, breathe in. And as you exhale, turn to the side and do a little stretch there. Good more once more. And as you exhale, bring the power of the breath down to the solar plexus of the chest, side, stomach, back, hips. Breathe in. And as we breathe out, sending more love, light, and energy down to the thighs, to the knees. Yes, baby, rub on those knees. Come to the knees, Bobby, they're talking to you. Give them some love. Stretch, walking. I do. Thank you, my therapist. And sitting back down. And as we get down to the oh, definitely feel the toes, the wiggle those toes. Feel that energy from the toes as we breathe in. Bring that energy from the feet back up through the legs, to the knees, to the hips, to the thighs, buttocks, and as we breathe in. Bring the energy back up through the solar plexus in your arms. As we twist ourselves in, and as we love ourselves, and yes, I love you. Stretching and taking breath into share. Breathing, begin with protecting your immune system. Did not see or hear the show last night. Lord have mercy. It's an archive. 24/7. Open up the channel, open up everything, this tap, lift up, everything, all good, squeeze, fine, get up the love, if they all night waiting on you to get up and give them some more love, so that's moving. Continue to breathe into the to the brain, heart, the skin, spine, people, all these organs that are working for you and everybody else to do for you. What are you doing? It takes all the systems. And take one long, last deep breath. And this time, bring your head forward, tilt your chest, and slowly rotate that head around to the right, to the left, sorry. That's how it is. Slowly begin to the right, to the right hand side. Bring your head around to the front, head up. And as you exhale, bring your head back down forward. Slowly rotate that head to the right. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Feel, feel that head as it moves around to the left, back down. Front, head up, head up, head up. And inhale deeply. Look to the left as far as you possibly can. Feeling stretch on the right side of the neck. And bring your head back forward. Inhale deeply. And look to the right as far as you possibly can. Feeling stretch on the left side. And just sit with that breath. Just sit with that breath. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. How does it feel to be with the power? Trust. No. What is it? It's community. You just patience and trust and believe. That's why we work in your faith. And that's it. The challenges that will keep us in faith. This is something where faith can be the first practice because your friend. Faith is the this is the unity that we have. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Now, type in one in the comments if you enjoyed this. And you can always switch to the first. Once you start this practice, it will come. If it's going to come, I could have been a whole lot. No, don't judge yourself. Don't do that to yourself. You'll always be respectful. Be respectful. Okay? And if you have a little garlic and a little salt on your breath, this works really well. People come up to you, they are all up in the field with the flavor, with this chill. When you inhale, and when you exhale, it goes, then you will begin to see this world because it is this kind of time that you take that will make this move. Don't believe that's your Monday morning mindfulness. We're talking with breath with God as you move in. You go out. Okay. All righty. It is now time to first group power. Wondering how we do what we do. We'll show you that absolutely. And shouldn't be situation here. Oh, and congratulations to our Brandon Truman. Make his father at the theater. I'm here playing being with my buddies, and Brandon walks up. Brandon Truman, his son, walks up and he says, "Hi to me." I'm like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" Well, I'm here kids time because I was supposed to go to this. He walks up and he says, "Hi to me." And hear his dad walk up. I'm like, your dad is a skate guard? I know him. I don't know what your father is. I'm always excited. So I just appreciate it. And we'll be back to every week with 2 to 2:50. It's a true 7 3. So, it's a long time to talk for 2 hours. Like we'll see some parts.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah, right.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Hi, I'm Akil. And you're watching the Betty Shabazz podcast training on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah.
Teen Talent Contest is coming up too every last Saturday.
Yo, what's up, guys? Once again, y'all, I'm pretty sure you know my name, but let's start all over again. My name is Ratan Yusuf, and I'm 13 years old. I was born, and I was ready to born in Toronto, Canada. 6IX. And my passion has been always acting since I was a little kid because I really enjoyed the creativity, the acting. It's like you, but it's another version of you. So fun fact about acting, it got specific performance, memorization work, all of that fun stuff. And without further ado, guys, let's just get straight to the video. What are you guys waiting for?
I wonder what's on next today.
No offense taking.
It's not even funny.
Because you're here in this beer.
Finally, some peace.
Who did that? I'm coming with the belt.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
That was winner 2023 winner. He is a contestant. Young man from I think he said Ontario, Canada. And he tried not once, not twice. He tried because he was just that serious. And you can have your children into school or whatever organization that have them actually to HLA show. Actually, see that's what they do with good job performances and whatever it is. Anything, just wait for them. And those are the teachers that we have to do. Living out on the street, go to what we do, we continue, and we do.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole world society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults. Many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them and shower them with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. When we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for those who are in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com, www.naimalatif.com. Well, you gotta do it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456. And schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
And Stevie Wonder.
It's been hard to stay silent with all that's going on. In my mind, I get it. I hear what's being said from all corners of our earth. I get it when you're controlled by what you're thinking. In our heads, we hear, if you fight me, I'll fight you harder. If you curse me, I'll curse you and yours even stronger. That is how our mind thinks, speaking without listening to the spirit. It is a mind that is not connected to the soul. The spirit knows that fighting harder, cursing stronger, hating longer will never end. It just gets easier to use a knife, a gun, a drone, or a bomb. All in the name of blood spilled on the ground to leave more lives buried in the ground, never reaching higher ground. To any of the leaders that feel that this is the only way, I ask you to be brave enough to say, in your way is a way to World War III. Am I the only one that sees this? I stand up with peace. I stand up with love. That's who I am. That is what God made me of. I stand down on war, and I stand down on hate. We cannot let revenge be our unimaginable fate.
Stevie said it. How are we processing the information that we receive? Now, this has been a big deal with T.D. Jakes, P. Diddy, some others. There's just a whole lot of drama going on. And because we don't know any better, we have a tendency to believe everything that we hear. And that is not always the truth. And I would beg to differ to say 9 out of 10 times, what you hear is not the truth. So, speaking of the truth, let us bring another truth sayer with us here. We are joined by the executive producer of the Female Solution, and that would be the one and only Naima Latif. Welcome, my sister.
Well, thank you so much for having another intriguing show. I have heard so much going back and forth on social media about the scandals and all of that. And this is what I would say. Our obsession with this points more to us than to them. Why are we obsessing about other people's private sexual activities?
Ain't none of your business.
Whether true or untrue, why do you care? So you have to look at yourself and examine what inside of you is making you obsess about something someone else is doing. How does that concern you? And I think as we go through this period of evolution as a human species, one of the things we have to examine is our misshapen concepts about sex, our very unhealthy beliefs about sexuality, our uncomfortableness about our own bodies. There is no other species on the planet that has made parts of their bodies shameful. No one else has done that. We're claiming to be the species with the highest intelligence, and yet we do the stupidest things. No one else has made certain body parts something condemnable. You look at the history of humanity, people getting stoned to death because they had sexual intimacy with someone. How insane is that? So we might not be killing each other physically because we disapprove of someone else's private sexual behavior, but we kill them socially in the things we say and do to try to condemn them. Why are we doing that? What is inside of us that makes us believe we have a right to have an opinion about someone else's personal sexual intimacy? Why are we believing that? So we have to examine our misshapen beliefs and the fact that we also have an obsession about taking someone who has achieved a level of success and notoriety and maybe even wealth and finding something we can use to denigrate them. Why do we need to do that? Are we perhaps feeling inadequate? And so we think we're going to feel better about ourselves if we put down someone else who we see as having ascended to a higher level than us. Everything that we do is an act of self-definition. Who am I? And I know who I am based on the way I think and behave. So what am I saying about myself when I'm obsessing about, gossiping about, and spreading information that could be considered as denigrating about someone else? Who does that make me? So I look at the way we have continuously done this to people. And what we should be learning from each of these episodes is, number one, we have a very unhealthy attitude about sexuality.
Vieta says she can't hear you. Vieta Asada says can't make out the words you're saying. I hear you loud and clear, so I'm not understanding. The sound is warped, but I hear you loud and clear, so I don't know what that is. One of you all can text me and let me know if it's still going on. But I hear you loud and clear.
Let's see. I'm going to disconnect my phone connection to Blog Talk, so they're just hearing me through. Well, they should just be hearing me through your microphone anyway.
Yeah. I hear you loud and clear.
So let me make sure I got all of my things plugged in so that my computers don't go out on us in the middle of the show.
Yeah, we don't need that one. Definitely don't need that.
Don't need that to happen. So we've been through these things before. Now, there is a case for if someone is accusing someone of improper behavior.
That's another story.
That's another story, because we have a right not to be violated. Our physical bodies should never be violated by the unwanted touching of another person. And we have a right to have that protected. And so if someone steps forward and says this person has violated me and I wish to prosecute them, well, then that's a civil matter. That's a civil, criminal, whatever the case may be. It's a personal injury kind of case between the two parties involved. And then they present their evidence as to, well, this is what happened. I didn't consent to this. You did this without my knowledge, to not, or in the case of accusations of someone is unconscious and wakes up to find themselves having been physically handled and they were not
aware of it.
That's a violation. Or in the case of force, someone says, well, I'm going to overpower you or threaten you with death with a weapon if you don't comply. Well, that also is a violation. So these are crimes. Okay, it's fine on YouTube. Something goes on Facebook problem. Okay. All right. Facebook, get it together.
Grand Rising Sisters, time for honest, uplifting conversation. Yes, ma'am. Hearing problem was on Facebook. It's fine on YouTube. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so much, sis. We appreciate that. That's Viata's Tiny House Village. If you didn't go see it, if you didn't see it last night, type this in right now and save it for later, because you need to see that. I learned so much last night. It's like, that's why I love the Female Solution. I learned. You think I'm good thinking. I'm learning. Student for life. So thank you, Viata. Yeah, y'all go see that. You'll be glad you did. Thank us later.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I look at the cases that have come up, which again, all of this is a process of growth. We are growing toward a higher level of consciousness as a human family. So everything that is exposed is for our benefit, so that we can examine ourselves and correct those things that need correction. So we've had cases where people have had to accuse those who have been very prominent and highly respected of improper behavior. And that also gives us a chance to self-examine. What is it we are learning in our childhood about sexual intimacy that is imbalanced, inappropriate, incorrect? And the first thing, when you, as a child, if you have been introduced to your body parts in any way that makes you feel shame or disgust, that's inappropriate. And that's going to create a problem for you later on, because you're going to act out in some way later on as you begin to emerge into adulthood. You're not going to be emotionally balanced when it comes to the acceptance of your body parts and the natural attraction to another for an intimate experience in which you are uniting and merging as two souls and feeling the physical stimulation and the energetic release that comes from that stimulation. If you have been introduced to sexuality in a way that makes you feel fearful of punishment or fearful of social condemnation, then you're going to have an imbalanced attitude when it comes to the natural expression of your sexuality because of the way it was introduced to you.
Mm-hmm.
And we have many people where sexuality was introduced to them in a way that was harmful. They were perhaps molested as a child, which means you were violated, you were touched without your consent. You may have been made to feel guilty about it. You may have even been punished for it. So all of these things plant the seeds for someone's misconduct in the future, because what was instilled in them was something that may have been traumatizing and definitely emotionally distressing. And those are not the appropriate emotions to connect with your sexuality. Your sexual energy is the most powerful energy that you have. It's your energy of creation. Just like you do the breathing exercises, you're breathing in the spirit of life. So anything that stimulates you to prepare you for the act of creation should be handled with the same reverence, the same attitude of welcome and love and appreciation. So when you inject shame into it and fear into it, you create a distortion. And this distortion is often manifested once you go through puberty and you're feeling the natural attraction and desire, but you have those feelings of shame and guilt. And so you end up doing things in secret or doing things that you fear are going to cause you public humiliation, embarrassment, or punishment. And you're not able to openly express natural sexuality. Even as you come into the time where you're supposed to be forming a relationship. How many young men are socialized to believe that what they're supposed to do is practice their sexuality on a so-called, bad girl, practice on her, and then, find somebody that your mother will approve of that you marry. How many generations of men have been taught that? And how many women have they damaged in treating them that way?
And still treating them that way.
Still treating them that way.
And you wonder why the world is the way it is.
Yes. Yes. So you leave a woman emotionally traumatized because you've been
taught took her stuff.
To use her. Yes. And misuse her. And we're wondering why we have so many angry women. But so many of them have been introduced to sexuality in a way that they felt they were degraded, misused, and misled. And men are socialized to believe that this is the correct way you handle sexuality because sex is really something shameful. And so, but you got to practice on somebody. And so you want to practice on somebody where they're already in your mind somebody that is shameful because they're bad. I mean, we have all of these designations in cultures around the world. It's not just Western culture. So this is why prostitution is such a very popular trade, because the idea that sexual intimacy is something done under the auspices of shame and guilt, as opposed to it being properly introduced so that no one needs to be denigrated first before you then now have your relationship with the person that you're acknowledging openly to your family. And you have women now, and they wanting to fight back against that kind of shaming. They say, okay, well, we're going to be open with our sexuality too. Okay, well, that's fine. That's good. But are we then forgetting the fact that because we're receiving energy from a man, you have the energetic imprint of every man that you're intimate with?
Oh, you are not just going to scroll right over that. You need to say that again, because we are the receivers and they are the givers, and somebody somewhere didn't hear that. So would you please repeat that again?
You are energetically receiving the imprint of every man that you are intimate with. They're affecting you, not just biochemically, but energetically. And if you don't understand what that means, we're all energy beings. We are all simply vibrating energy. So somebody can take you up high or bring you down low. They can bring you to such a low level of depression where you then become subjected to disease.
Mm.
because it's your energy that opens the door for dis-ease. So all of the things that you experience connected to your sexuality affects your energy body, which affects your health, your well-being, your mental and emotional state, your biochemical state. So this is not just a momentary act. This is affecting you in the house in which you live.
The house in which you live. Why you letting all them people in there and they ain't paying no rent up here? Huh?
So when we as men and women do not learn the value of who we are as mind, body, spirit complexes, then we approach intimacy in a way that is abusive and insensitive and often cruel because of the way we're mistaught from the beginning. And again, no other species does this.
We're the only, and we're humans. We're supposed to be so intelligent. How? What?
And we should know that that means we are not.
Oh, all the animals can get along. Watch the ants. See how they just collaborate. Nobody just breaks out in a fight in the middle of nothing because they don't agree with something. They all work together.
We work together for the common good. So this is what we're learning. We're learning how to be like the ants, like the bee, like the birds, like all the other species who understand cooperation and working together and procreation in a community where everybody's needs are met. We're learning this because we have not learned it. We have not demonstrated it in the last several thousands of years because everything we do, we inject fear into. And the fact that we inject fear into our sexuality is what has us so distorted as a human species. We can't do the very thing that is natural and life producing without creating a conflict and turning it into violence. We've done this. Nobody else is doing that. You know, I was doing research and I was writing the book, The Female Solution. And I had a theory that no other species on the planet commits rape other than human beings. And I was believing that, you know, and so I was reading that I was in the library at what is that, 49th and Blackstone. I was in the library doing my research and I came across a story about how birds, when they're in the zoo, you know, they in order to keep them from flying away, they kind of clip their wings so they can't get away. And with the ducks, you know, they would again disable their wings so they can't fly away. Well, what would happen when a female duck, because she couldn't fly away, sometimes she'd be gang raped. You know, a bunch of males, you know, just forcibly have sex with her. She couldn't like do what she would do in the natural wild, where she would just, you know, and wave them off and fly away because they had her wings clipped. So she was subject to being gang raped. And I'm reading that, I was so horrified that because of human intervention and making her situation unnatural where she could not fly away, she then became subjected to other unnatural behavior by males who also were in an unnatural state in a zoo and confined and all of that. And so when you're in an unnatural state, then unnatural behavior manifests. And so I'm reading about the female ducks being gang raped. And it hit me so hard, I started crying. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm in this library. I'm like, oh my God, okay, people don't think I'm crazy. And so, you know, I had to pick up a big book and like, you know, put it in front of my face so people could not see. I'm like, you know, but I knew that the guard would probably come up and say, ma'am, are you okay? You know, and then I'd be embarrassed, of course. How do I explain why I'm upset? But that was so upsetting to me because I realized that unnatural behavior only happens when we create an unnatural environment. And you don't see the only two species on the planet where you will see acts of rape are among human beings and chimpanzees. No one else does that. No one else violates the opposite sex in the attempt to have sexual intimacy. you might strive and chase them and all of that.
Followed by the pound or hash. If you do not know your PIN, please.
There must be somebody trying to call in. Oh yeah, we do have some callers on the line.
Yes.
I guess I think we need to take a quick break here and then come back and get some of those calls. 314 on the Blog Talk switchboard, 314-677 and 312-632. We're going to take your calls as soon as we come back. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak, and we'll get calls from the other line as well.
Relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answer yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. When you learn not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, promote your product or service, don't just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 212-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com. Or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com. What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery, the African-American psychic trauma. What happened to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? Who did they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identities? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. And get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. Do you or your organization need space for an event? Call the Flurry Event Center at 2423 East 75th Street in Chicago. For your parties, banquets, award ceremonies, repasses, concerts, and business seminars. Available 7 days a week. Now under new management. Call us at the Flurry at 773-663-2557. That's 773-663-2557. Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Valona Health, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep its bones, joints, and muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movement. Thanks for being part of the Higher Learning Network on the Female Solution.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on the Female Solution. I'm your host, Zelda Speak, with the executive producer of the Female Solution, Naima Latif. What you're looking at on the online, for those of you who are watching us on our YouTube and Facebook and Instagram channels, this is my blog, which is where I post all the updates after the show. But this is zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. And on the screen, you'll see these two principles talking about the education of our children. And it is a must. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is a must read. You must go there and see this. But I just had to share that with you as we continue the conversation this morning on T.D. Jakes, what he did at Gospel Radio 1390. But I'm going to share that with you in just a moment after We take these calls as we go to the phone lines 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And also, if you're watching online, type in the comment section what city, state, country you're watching from. Latoya Griffin says, "Wow, yeah, that's enough to make you go wow, isn't it, Latoya?" So thank you so much for joining us this morning. And for those who just joined, and if you didn't just join, share this video because we all need to hear this because I love what you said. It's not about them. This is an inside job. Why are we so wrapped up in it? Let's go to the phone lines. 314-677. You're live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising, what's your name, where you're calling from, and what is your comment as it relates to the question, what TD Jakes did at Gospel Radio 1390 back in the day, WGCI, when I was there. What's your comment? Hi, who's this?
Who TD Jakes is, Hardy. I don't follow him, so this is somebody else.
That sounds like the voice of Pianke. Grand Rising, Pianke. Thank you so much for calling this morning. What's your comment or question?
And I kind of agree with Naima, what TD Jakes do in his own personal, but anybody else is their business.
Amen.
I can tell Naima, your audio, Naima, on your commercial comes in blasting to the point where it wakes the kids.
I guess that's good.
They need to be woke anyway.
When we turn it down, then when the programming come on, we can't hear it.
Oh, wow.
So that's, it's because you need to adjust that.
Okay.
But, you was talking about these incidents in nature. I think that people should leave other cultures alone because right and wrong is subjective. What's right in one culture, like here in the United States, you got men and women, same sex can marry. But that's forbidden, taboo in others. And amongst the species, when the black widow mates with the black widow male, when it's over, she kills him.
Yeah, and he knew that going into it. He knew that was the end, but hey, he that was his choice.
Right.
What a way to go.
The cuckoo bird, it will lay its egg in another person's nest. And when the birds hatch, the cuckoo bird baby will kill the others in the nest. So when a dog is on heat, it would be more than one or two dogs that mate with her. That goes on in the animal kingdom. So that's just the way these things are. You go into some societies, like the Jawara off the southern tip of India, they have the oldest genes in the genetic gene pool. It goes back over 65,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that we know of here in the West, they ain't never heard of. As was the Aborigines in Australia. They ain't never heard of that. Who in the heck is Adam and Eve? So,
yeah,
we need to respect other societies and their culture beliefs and culture practice.
All right.
I certainly agree with that.
Absolutely. Prostitution is legal in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing to remember, that when you're an adult, you have the power to choose what you wish to do with your own body. And if it is your choice, why should anyone else have an opinion about it? It is your body and your choice. And so there are societies where a lot of things happen that we may not agree with or understand. But if as a collective society they choose to do this, that is a choice they're going to make until they perhaps evolve to another understanding where maybe this is a practice that is not helpful or maybe it's harmful. But this is what evolution is about. You learn through your experiences. So there are many societies across the world that practice male circumcision, and there are some that practice female circumcision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there any body part that you are born with it that God made a mistake and needs to be removed? Of course. But for
somebody somewhere thinks that.
Somebody somewhere thinks that. And until people grow out of that belief, they will continue to practice something that ultimately ends up being harmful. But for whatever conditioning you received, you keep doing it. Now, women will get grossed out when they hear about female circumcision that's practiced in some cultures in East Africa. But then they will readily circumcise their male children here in the West. Why are we doing that? Well, that's what they say in the Bible. Okay, do you know the history of that? And do you understand the trauma that you're taking your child through? And do you know what they're feeling? No, you don't. Why are you taking your child through this trauma? And if it's a body part that I don't have, then why am I assuming that someone else's body part is not going to feel the trauma of being removed? So the things that we do out of religious conditioning or old time habits, we do it until we learn something different. We do it until we take the time to study what are the long range effects of this, and what happens if we don't do it. Is society better? Now, with the female circumcision, the whole point was for women not to feel the arousal of sexual intimacy so that they would be faithful to their husbands. Okay, does that really make any sense? The same thing was with the breaking feet of the Chinese had to practice breaking the female feet so that they couldn't walk away and be unfaithful to their husbands. So the whole obsession was, I need to make sure that you are sexually faithful to me. So I'm going to disable you or make you not able to experience intimacy with someone else. So as long as we had that mindset that someone else's body belonged to us and we had rights over it, then we're going to feel justified in violating them. What we have to grow to as a human species is understanding that you don't own anyone's body. They have the free will to be with you. And if they choose to end the relationship, they should have the free will to leave without punishment, because your emotions, it's a part of your free will. Your desire to unite with somebody is part of your free will. So if you respect a person's free will, then a love relationship is all about your mutual desire and consent. People do change, they do grow, they do evolve to a different level, and it might be at a point where you realize the person you were 20 years ago is not who you are today. You should be able to part amicably and respectfully without punishing a person for having grown in a different direction. That's the realization we're evolving to. That's the higher consciousness we're evolving to. But we have to go through these ugly things so that we can recognize that they're ugly things. Why are we punishing people because they have decided, or because they have changed, or because they have grown, and we're no longer compatible? So why do we feel like we must punish them financially? We must condemn them socially. We must cause them some kind of pain. Why are we believing that when they have the free will to evolve? That's what we all came to do, to evolve. And if you choose to accompany someone on their life journey through earth until one of you departs, then that's a choice you make. Okay, I'm committed to stay with you for the rest of your journey through this physical life. And we're choosing to be a couple. Okay, we're making that choice. And so we work together, we grow together, we plan together. And when one of us departs, that frees the other one to then perhaps choose another mate or choose to stay single. It's their free will. But if during that time where you both made that promise, if one of you realize something inside of you has changed and you wish to go in another direction, then the other person should have the spiritual understanding and maturity to release them and allow them to go in a different direction, because you don't own them. But you were on a journey together during a time which you both agreed to be together. So we should be able to do this, but we can't do this as long as we're believing that you own someone. The whole idea of a man owning a woman is what evolved into all these harmful practices, female circumcision. I gotta cut off the most sensitive part of your genitalia so that you can't be attracted to another man. Well, that means you're not gonna really be attracted to me either, because you can't feel anything. But Hey, I have that because sex is not really about you. It's about me, the man. So,
Right.
feel nothing. So what? How selfish is that? But the men in that community, the men in that culture have to evolve to an understanding that sexuality is a mutual experience for both male and female. Until they do that, that practice will continue. So it's all about how are we evolving into higher spiritual beings where we respect each other and we can express love without believing that it is possession. This is what we're growing to. And I believe Bianchi mentioned the Aboriginal cultures, where, I read this book and I'm sure I mentioned it before, Mutant Message Down Under, where
Ooh, I read that book. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Now, these are people, the woman who spent a couple of months among them in Australia. She was a white woman, born and raised in America. And of course, when she went over there and spent several months among the community, she had a whole different perspective of life because they are higher evolved to the point where they are telepathic. They communicate thought to thought, mind to mind, spirit to spirit. That's the natural state of communication. That's how all life communicates. Human beings lost that ability because we practice deception. The only way that works is if you have no deception inside of you. So now, what we see on the internet, that's actually the precursor to where we're going to evolve to in terms of being able to be those telepathic beings where we're sharing thoughts. So right now, everybody's sharing whatever's inside of them. They're putting it on the internet, so you can see how people think. And you have some people, they're putting out loving, kind messages, beautiful words of inspiration. You have some people that putting out pornography because that's where they're at. So wherever you are in your own evolution, that's where you're going to gravitate to. It's like tuning into a radio station. Wherever you are is what you're going to be drawn to. So look at what you do every day. Are you spending hours looking at people fighting? Are you spending hours looking at porn? People having sex because you have this belief about sexuality, and so you want to, in secret be stimulated by somebody else. Okay, well, examine yourself. What do you spend your time? What are you drawn to? That's defining who you are and how you think. Where are you vibrating? Where are you drawn to? Where is your frequency? Is it on the high level where you're listening to inspirational words, loving words, peaceful words, words of praise to the Creator? Are you drawn to that, or are you drawn to people fighting? Are you drawn to people getting arrested? Are you drawn to people who are being angry and insulting? Because this is letting you know where you are. Where are you in your evolution? If you are a higher evolved being, you're not enjoying watching people suffering and in pain.
Mm-mm.
And if you are healthy in your spirituality and in your sexuality, you're not drawn to people being denigrated, and you're not drawn to other people discussing other people's sexuality because you are healthy in your own.
Amen.
So let's take a look at who you are. Eventually, you think about being able to share thoughts. Would you want somebody to send you to be able to infect your mind with, say, some horrible violent act of murder, and you have to sit there and look at it and watch somebody suffer and be tortured and in pain? Would you want somebody to be able to force you to watch that? Of course not. So right now you're voluntarily watching. But just imagine if people had the ability to send and receive thoughts, and you had somebody forcibly sending that thought to you. Well, you would not want that. So this is why we don't have that ability. Because what's in our minds is so denigrating. It's so destructive. So the people in the Aboriginal community that Marla Morgan, she's the author of the book, the people who are communicating telepathically are on a higher spiritual level where there's only love. So what they send and receive are loving thoughts, information that's helpful, nothing that's going to be either crude or disgusting or hurtful. So that's where that skill exists. So people who are evolving to that higher level, they're not down there looking at the worst human behavior. So if you want to know where you are on the scale of evolution, just look at the things that you put in your mind every day. Look at the things that you obsess about every day. And you'll know where you are. Do you really want to be that person that's always looking at the worst of human behavior or looking to denigrate natural behaviors? So we're observing ourselves as a human species every single day so that we can see where we are. And eventually, we're going to decide we don't want to keep experiencing this, and we'll stop. But I think at this time, what we need to look at in ourselves is two things: the misshapen spiritual beliefs and the misshapen sexual beliefs, because both of those lead to perverted behavior. And what's perverted is when you force something on someone that they don't want and they find uncomfortable or distasteful. Any sexual intimacy is private between the people involved. But when we either criminalize it or socially condemn it, then we have to look at ourselves. Just like you look at the story of the woman who supposedly was having sex outside of marriage and was about to be stoned to death. And you think, what kind of a society decides to kill you because they don't agree with who you're sexually involved with?
And I believe that's somebody who's trying to get through the lines. We've got another call, 312-632-9644. We're going to the phone line. What's your name and where you calling from? Admiral Nelson Bay, Grand Rising. Thank you so very much for calling in this morning. And thank you for those pies for the homeless. Even though I haven't picked them up, I will be picking them up tomorrow, I promise, and they will get them every Thursday when we go out there.
Yes, we've had some great donations.
For discussing this particular subject of the spiritual dynamics of human sexuality. You see, when I was in my mid to late 30s, I had occasion to go and meet with my beloved Sonia's daughter and to be properly introduced. This was during the Holy Week of 2009. I finally got her correct address. She called me, and I went to her house there at AB 433 South Loomis. But I didn't go until the next day, and so I missed out. Her daughter, Alexis P. Bertrand, at the time was 15 years old, and I was 47. And the point is, because I didn't do what my nature naturally inclined me to do, out of fear of this stupidity of, oh, he's having an intimate sexual relationship with whoever, like Brother R. Kelly. R. Kelly is a man after our own heart, by the way. And because you see, it's all about control and who's in power in this whole white supremacist reality worldwide.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because you are right on target. That's Andrew Nelson Bay of Chicago. Very a loyal listener here on The Female Solution. It is time for us to take a look at this quick video that someone sent me. Bishop T.D. Jakes responds to being seen with Diddy, and it makes you think. So check it out. Let me know what you think.
People with way less talent than you that are sitting on top of the world. We do not like talent, we like strategy. And I'm trying to tell you right now, some of the most talented people in the world are in this room right now. And all I have to do is paint you a different color and you gain $25 million. And you need to wake yourself up. A bucket of paint and a good plan, a meeting, and you would be sitting way further than you. We do not like talent. I do prison ministry. I do prison ministry. You have to understand, I do prison ministry. I work with the inmates. I go behind prison walls. I work with people coming out of incarceration. I spent 3 days in San Quentin talking to people in jail. Let me tell you something, and that's why that's why people get on my nerves talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters. I walk in prison ministries. I deal with murderers. I deal with rapists and killers because they're our children, our sons and our daughters. Hallelujah. I never have to justify stooping low. See, they put you in a situation where you can't win. If you hang out with the rich folk, you're snooty. If you stoop down low and get somebody in trouble, you had no business. So I'm supposed to sit at home and do nothing. I went in the prisons. I've had 40,000 people to go through our Texas Offenders Reentry Initiative and get jobs and be respectable and stand up on their feet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have time to play games. I don't have time for foolishness. I don't have time for foolishness at all. If you see me come in the room, I'm coming for something. If you see me come in your city, I'm after something. If you see me start running, chase me, because I'm moving towards something. I'm a person of purpose. I got projects all over the country providing affordable mixed income housing in multiple cities across the country. And you wonder why all hell is breaking loose against me? The devil don't want me to be able to do it.
Now, I just got to stop the video there. Now, did you hear what he said?
Mm-hmm. You know, when you look at people who have been about to do or are doing some major things, and then suddenly their sexuality is called into question, that happens because people who manipulate things know that that's a trigger for us as an American community.
Yes, ma'am.
Same thing was done with Michael Jackson. Same thing was done with Bill Cosby.
Yes.
You have people who are doing momentous things, making a major difference, using their money, their influence, their intelligence, their creativity. And we get sidetracked worrying about their sexuality because we are still damaged. We are still traumatized. We are still misshapen in our own sexuality because what happened to us as a people? We were cruelly forced into forced mating, forced childbearing, rape, molestation, torture, all kinds of things we were forced to endure, and we have not healed from that. That's why so much of that is in our families. Everything from incest to the rape and molestation of children by adults who are supposed to be trusted adults. We have so much improper behavior in our families because we never healed from the trauma of the enslavement experience. And that particular part of us is still broken. So this is why that particular thing, whenever it's desired to topple someone who's doing something that is changing lives and maybe even changing the balance of economic power.
Oh, that's the issue.
That they attack on that person because they know that's what we will respond to.
Yes.
Because of our brokenness.
It's all about the psychology, and they know that because they have been studying us since birth.
So our responsibility is to overcome this deep wound that we are still carrying about our own sexuality We were made to feel deeply shamed because of the way our sexuality was exploited, the way our femininity and masculinity was taken away, and the way we have been denigrated in this nation and in many places around the world. So we must heal from the inner wound that we're still carrying so that we're not always triggered by stories about someone's sexuality to the degree where we will then participate in their destruction.
As Latoya Griffin says, we need more God in this world. And that's exactly what he is talking about in this video. I've got to let you hear these last 2 minutes because he said exactly what you said. Bishop T.D. Jake responds to being seen with Diddy. Here we go. Last 2 minutes.
He's so mad. He's so angry. He doesn't want me to be able to do it. When was the last time you see anybody negotiate $1 billion deal with a company? And I know they're questionable, and I know they've had all kind of issues, but at least I got $1 billion back. Stop talking about reparations if you're not going to receive them when they come. Any way they come, anyhow they come, any degree they come in. Glory to God, that's $1 billion we didn't have. Pharaoh into the place that Joshua took you, where God will give you houses you didn't build and vineyards that you didn't grow. Am I talking to the right people in here? That's why I'm on the hit list, and I'm probably going to be on the hit list again, because everybody throughout history that tried to make it better for us got shot. But if you pray, I'm willing to take the risk.
Did you hear what he said? Bishop T.D. Jakes addressed this issue because you are trying to make a difference. It's that simple. And if our people don't understand that at this point, well, I hope this video just awakened you, because this is really what's going on. And somebody asked me, why did I use that title? Because just as Naima just said, I knew that people would react the way that they are reacting. We buy into this way of thinking that keeps us trapped in a place we don't want to be longer than we want to be there. Because what this man is doing is making a difference. And the highest, I don't want you building properties nowhere, housing people who need housing. We don't want you doing that. That's the government's job. Oh no, Bishop TDJ say that's my job. I'm in the community. People see me. People see the work that I do. But no, the dark side comes out and says, yeah, well, we're going to catch him doing something so we can sway them, persuade them to not like him. Let's condemn him and others like him who are doing something from the community. I rest my case. Latoya Griffin said, amen. Let the church say amen. Amen.
All right, Latoya, yes, absolutely. Well, that means we really have to be wiser than we've been. Because just like he said, in the past, when someone was a threat to the powers that be, they would be killed. Well,
yeah, you can take it up out of here.
They simply kill your reputation.
Right. You kill your reputation.
And so that can only happen if we allow it. We have to have wisdom and understand that anybody who puts out information has an agenda. Why are you telling me this?
Right. Why?
What hoping to get from me? Why should I care about that which does not concern me? What concerns me is the work that he's doing in the prisons. What concerns me is the work that he's doing in investing and creating opportunities for people. That's what concerns me, because that's going to make life better for all of us. And the more people that receive what they need for a healthy life, the better it is for all of us. So why are you telling me something that has nothing to do with any of those objectives? What is your agenda?
Right.
And we have to ask ourselves that every time, whether somebody comes to you with gossip about somebody coming to you about information that would make you think negative about somebody, you have to ask yourself, what is their agenda? What are they trying to get me to believe and therefore do? because there is a reason. Just like if you're at work and somebody comes to you with some gossip about a coworker.
Right.
Why are you telling me this? Especially got girl, well, I heard she cheating on her husband. And how is that my business or my concern? What does that have to do with the job we're doing here?
And what does that do to help you?
Yeah.
Baba Kwame Sunhorse says, Grand Rising spirituality, the study of spirit, soul, and body is a fundamental truth that all born-again Christians need to understand. It is through having a clear revelation of spirit, soul, and body that you are able to walk by faith and be led by your spirit. It is 8:38. We're going to bring Baba Kwame Sunhorse on right after this last commercial break. Stay close. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Lionel, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are a part of the online network of associated internet radio hosts. On Air. On Air empowers you with transformative news and interactive radio TV shows. This is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family coming together as one community as a result of that powerful tool, the internet. We can now talk directly to each other all over the world. There's no need for conflict or misunderstanding. There's no need for violence to solve our differences. We can talk to each other face to face until we reach an agreement. On Air offers a fantastic global guide to communicators from all over the world who are using their internet platforms to inspire us to strive to be our best selves in order to become the kind, compassionate, loving people we were all born to be. Once we do that, we'll see planet Earth transformed into a place of peace. Subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and podcasts created by these Voices of Enlightenment. On Air provides daily news briefs and a weekly magazine to keep you abreast of events and opportunities. On Air news affiliates in television, radio, and print share information, insight, and interviews with notable personalities. Go to onaireverywhere.com for a daily dose of uplifting news. We're on air everywhere, online all the time.
I believe we got a caller on the on-air radio network after we open the mic for Baba Kwame.
Okay, Baba Kwame, we're coming to the phone line, 706-202 Grand Rising. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Baba. Unmute yourself.
Grand Rising and Assalamu alaikum to my sister Naima.
Grand Rising.
You know, the thing that I sent you, it's not spirituality, it's spiritology.
Oh,
spiritology.
There's a book out. It's called Spiritology 101.
Spiritology 101.
Look at is this is the change. We have been psychologically trained to look at ourselves from the sexual, and even to be sex. Sex was created by the psychiatrist Sigmund Freud with this whole concept of psychology. And in this mind-changing process that they did, it was for behavior control.
Mm-hmm.
Sex stands for, and you heard me say this, because spiritual energy change.
Yes.
When in the animal world and in all the other male-female world, there's a spiritual energy exchange to create another spirit. This is what we were given these abilities to do, to create another us. And so the part that we're looking at is how the part has taken it to the mind. See, the brain is like the air traffic controller of the other brains in the body. The spirit is what gives energy to the mind. Because when I watched my mother take her last breath, I told her in her ear, Mama, your spirit is free. That means that spirit can leave her body. It no longer has to be there. It can go back to where it came from. When that baby comes in, that baby is a spirit that comes in and has to adapt its mind to the world. It has to adapt its mind to our world. And so what we're looking at is we need change. And this is what part of the solution, because know it, you lost the solution backwards. Know it, you lost the solution backwards. What have we lost? We've lost our mind. We've lost the connection to our spirit. That's why our parents used to say, have you lost your mind?
Yes. All the time.
Spirit.
Girl, if you lost your mind, yeah.
Oh, with you, girl.
Right. And so what we're looking at is we've got to create, because we're moving from a homo sapien, which is a wise man, to a homo spiritus, a spiritual man.
Yes.
These are the tools that we have to use to reconstruct our humanness.
Yes.
Because it's the spirit that is what is the most powerful part of us being human. And then the soul, the spirit, the mind, the body. So what we're looking at is how do we get spirituality? How do we help to correct the spirit? Because when the spirit is damaged, it affects mind. When the spirit is damaged, and this is why we have spiritual leadership, to lead that person's spirit back to the mind to correct and help the body and the being to grow and be a whole human.
Well said, Baba Kwame Sunhorse. Viata from Viata's Tiny House Village says, I've heard the victim's pain, and like Eddie Long, the truth will be revealed eventually. This is an 8-year of new beginnings and revealing all evil. Yeah, baby. What's done in the dark always comes to the light. That's just
And this is the part. This is the part. We're looking at the weakness of the body. We're animalistic. But the spirit has the power over the mind and body. We have lost the disconnection. That's why when you go in nature, you have a frequency change that the spirit is in its element. The spirit is most comfortable being in nature than it is being in the concrete jungle. These are the ways in which they created this white supremacy, is by taking and attacking our spiritual belief system and giving us religion. Religion is their creation. Spirituality was something that the human had before there was a religion.
Amen. Teach. Yes, sir.
You know, the thing that is the greatest challenge for every human being is to establish their own connection to the divine mind and to receive direct revelations. If you are taught through your religions that you are unworthy of talking to God and God talking to you, then that means that you are not listening when God is talking to you. God speaks to everyone because we're all connected to and a part of the divine mind of creation we call God. So you don't need a priest, an imam, a rabbi, a guru. You don't need someone to tell you what God says. You need to be quiet and listen for yourself.
Because we're so busy talking, we can't get quiet.
Yes. So you got to get quiet. And like he's saying, go out in nature where the sounds you hear are natural sounds, the sounds of the birds, the sound of the wind, rustling the trees, and the sounds of the squirrels chatter. Listen to the earth and then get quiet and breathe and listen to God speak to your soul. Because you will often be told that the things that you've been conditioned to believe are incorrect because they're making you believe that you are less than worthy of speaking to God. You're less than worthy of hearing from God. You're less than worthy of knowing God. If you are believing that in any of your belief systems, whatever it is, that is incorrect. And that's actually separating you from your source, which is God, the creator of all. And so we have to unlearn that belief system If you're taught that you're supposed to fear the one who made you, fear the one that you're an expression of, because they might punish you, well, that's like the fear that you have of the parent that punishes you and causes you pain because you as a child are exploring and trying to learn and making mistakes. Well, a loving, wise parent would not cause you pain because you're acting out in ignorance. A wise parent will give you guidance. The creator of the universe is not like our dysfunctional parents that were beaten into submission. The creator of the universe gives us guidance if we simply listen. And what we're allowed to do is learn from our experiences so that we can make better choices. If something is hurting you, then that is the lesson you're supposed to learn. Don't do that. Don't do the thing that's causing pain to yourself or someone else.
Hello.
This is the lesson that we're learning. It's taking us too long to learn it. But like Baba Kwame is saying, we're evolving into that spiritual being where we only make decisions based in love. And we're doing that because we're learning that we don't want to keep feeling pain. We don't want to keep causing others pain. We're learning this. And the places where we're seeing war around the world, they're demonstrating what happens when you don't learn that lesson. You cause pain. How fun is it to get blown to bits? How fun is it to get a hole blown into your body? How fun is it to get stabbed in it? Not fun, is it? So why do we keep doing it? We're not learning. We're not learning. If you are not kind and loving to others, whatever pain you're causing them, you're causing yourself. And eventually it will come back to yourself. So this is a very simple lesson. It's taking us too long to learn it.
And it keeps showing up until we get the lesson.
Can I add to what you just said?
Yes, sir. And then we're going to go to the phone line, 773-450. Go ahead. Go ahead, Baba.
No, it's very key to what she's saying about the part of loving and the spirit connecting. But number one is that you can't tell someone about loving themselves unless you know how to do it yourself.
Can't teach what you don't know. Can't lead where you don't go.
And if you don't understand how to love you, and see, the thing is you love Creator first, who is unseen. Learn yourself, who He created you to see Himself in you. That love for Creator that gave us life. And then you go about seeing what else in the planet that He created. Because I lost my physical body of mother, but my mother put me on this earth. That's why I have an Earth Day. I came onto Mother Earth. I will always have her until I leave her. We will all have a mother. This is what nature is. She's a nurturing. She is the energy and the supply of what we need to live. With the other part, that's why we say Matakioya say, all my relations, I am related to everything on the planet and the universe above me.
Yes. Now that's
and when I separate me, then I'm doing damage to me. And because my Creator made me to be in oneness with the Creator, it's only me that separates it, like the prayer of the footprints.
And it's imperative that we separate ourselves from others, because that is how we are going to get quiet and go within.
Absolutely.
You can't get it looking at social media. It's not going to happen. It wasn't designed that way. I told you, people, there's a marketing strategy. We know it. Yeah, it's artificial. We know nothing about it. We got 5 minutes left. Let's go to the phone line, get a couple of calls. 773-450. You are live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising, what's your name? And where are you calling from?
Good morning to all. This is Obadiah. It's interesting to me, the society we live in, because there's so many things that when you start off, they tell you about God that's up in the sky somewhere, and there you are looking and praying somewhere else, and God within you. Why are you doing all that? It's no different than us when society creates the idea of we make love. We don't make love. Love is a gift. So when society's giving you all this stuff, and I look around every day at people, they got their phone and they're looking at TikTok for hours. These social media and all that's controlling their mind. I get up in the morning, I'm trying to hear the birds give me a symphony, go outside and see what
Amen.
That's not what they teach you. It's about 24-hour television. Because I'm old enough, back in the day, TV went home.
Yes, it did. At midnight. Or was it 10 o'clock? Was it midnight or 10 o'clock?
It was midnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had the 10 o'clock news. But yeah, you're right. It used to go off and then you went to bed like you had some sense.
Right. And you wonder why you can't sleep now. Because you're tuned to stay up 24/7. Yeah.
People used to make music to soothe people and to improve your life, to tell you something that left a message. But what happened to the music when it became kill each other? And then people started each other and killing each other up because they were artists.
That's why the world is in the shape it's in today. Thank you so much for calling and sharing, Obadiah. Thank you, my Columbia alumni. Thank you so much for joining me.
I think we got Minister Plump on Air Network. You got about 30 seconds and we got to wrap up.
Minister Plump, we got 30 seconds. We got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Grand Rising. What is your comment as it relates to Bishop T.D. Jakes? What he said at Gospel Radio 1390. I'm going to tell y'all in just a second. Mr. Plump, are you there?
Yes, we are in Shalom, Grand Rising, Assalamu Alaikum. It's all about GOD, which is greatest on demand. Concerning Bishop Jakes.
Greatest on demand.
It is greatest on demand because it's our time now. Sister Naima, we launched the Million Man Minds for 2024.
Well, we'll be talking about that. We'll give you a chance to let us more know about that because we definitely want to give you an opportunity to be a part of the solution and promoting what you do. So we'll talk about that. I'll give you a call because we want to get more details on that. And as we wrap up,
there's some resources from the Westside Ministers Coalition where FEMA came out, and there's a lot of disaster assistance available. If you were flooded back in September and you don't know about it, you need to contact them at disasterassistance.gov because there is so much money out there. We know nothing about it. That's why I love going to the Westside Ministers Coalition. I've been hosting it for the last 20 years, I think. And you can also call the FEMA number, which is 1-800-621-3362. That's 1-800-621-3362. If you were affected by the water damage that happened, flooded in Chicago. So just wanted to share those resources with you. And you can always go to my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com, and always find information from the show. And please, and thank you for subscribing to our new channel on Instagram, Higher Learning TV Show. Closing thoughts, Naima?
Well, I want to thank all of those who called in and wrote in and gave remarks about this exploding news story about our dear brother T.D. Jakes. And he's listed on the on-air radio TV guide as just one of those communicators that's putting out positive information that can be uplifting among many others from around the world. But we can easily get distracted when the news media starts to expose supposedly things, and we always have to question, why are you telling us this?
Right.
What response do you want us to have? And is it in our best interest? Now, if there is anything that is happening between two people of an intimate nature, those two people are the ones that are involved and no one else. So we have to keep our eyes on our prize. What are we trying to evolve to as individuals and as a collective human family? We're trying to evolve to that higher level where our motivation for everything we do is the well-being of all. When we get to that point, then we will be immune to all of the negative social media and everything else that's meant to distract us and keep us vibrating low so that we keep tuning in to the low things that keep us on the lower level. Inspiration is on the high level. inspiration and new ideas is on that higher frequency. So if you want inspiration for ideas that are going to create something that solves a problem, you have to keep your thoughts on a higher level so you can receive the conversation from the Most High. You can receive the conversation from the creator of the universe. You can receive the words of God that will give you the answers to whatever your situation is. But as long as you're focusing on the lower things, the destruction, the denigration, the disgust, and all of the things that keep you feeling bad, you will not hear the voice of God, which is within you if you just get still and listen. So please choose to be your highest self so that you can manifest the best for yourself. That is why you are here.
That is exactly why you are here. And I just love, for those on the switchboard who can't see this, go to onaireverywhere.com. I'm going to say that again so you can hear it. Onaireverywhere.com is where you want to go. And I just love the fact that you can go to the screen, Naima, and just take a picture of it, and the website shows up. I love it. Congratulations. Yes.
High tech, y'all.
Onaireverywhere.com is where you can find Monday Morning Mindfulness and the Female Solution 7 days a week from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday 12 noon until 2 p.m. and Sunday evening Soul Purpose Healing from
7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Central Standard Time.
Absolutely. Yes. So this is why we're here, to help us all evolve. And when we do that, we will see planet Earth become a new Earth. And we will be a part of it, because we are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be.
And the way it should be begins tomorrow with Asada. We've got a new lineup for you.
Absolutely. Yes, we do. And we're excited because we have a wonderful weekly lineup. After Monday Morning Mindfulness, we've got Gathering of the Griots with Asada. And then Wednesday, of course, I'll be back here with my co-host Kareem Hamid and the American Muslim 360 family. And then Thursday, Shop with Zoe. And we're going to introduce you to not only some great deals, but also some great opportunities to generate your income. And then Friday, Health and Well-Being with Beata. And Saturday will be on our second Saturday, which is you will hear Mama Joy and Reverend Rosemary on the neighborship of Joy with great conversations. And we will have, again, Sunday, starting all over again with Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. So tune in every day of the week.
7 days a week. You can reach us right here. And kudos to those who made it their business to spend this morning with us here on the Female Solution and the Higher Learning Network, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19, and 24/7 on the World Wide Web. Higher Learning TV show on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. But this is the question that got you here today. And that question is, what did T.D. Jakes do at Gospel Radio? Or what did he say at Gospel Radio 1390 WGCI back in the day when I was working there in secular radio? I heard him say, well, actually, we were having a conversation, myself, Effie Roth, and I believe it was Karen Fletcher. And he was here promoting his first book at the, was it United? No, McCormick Place. I think it was McCormick Place. And something was brewing then. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said something to me when I asked him the question. I don't remember what the question is, but I remember what the answer is, just like it was yesterday. And he says, expect the unexpected. You will be judged for something you may or may have not done. So expect, when you are doing good things, for all hell to break loose. And that's the one thing that he said to me that made me remember this occasion. The fact that he is being ridiculed in public, just like they did Michael Jackson, just like they did Bill Cosby. When you elevate to a level where you're trying to help others, you're just not buying airplanes and buildings all over the place, but you're trying to house the homeless. And be sure and go to our Instagram channel, hln.homeless.project. I forgot to mention that. When you're trying to make the lives of someone else better other than yourself, you can't do that. This is all about you. You cannot help others. That's not what you were put here to do. That's what the powers that be tell us, but we know better. And Bishop T.D. Jakes is an example of that. So expect to be brought down, because that's what they do. It's like, no, you can't do that. We got to keep you at a certain level so you all can remain at a certain level. But no, Bishop T.D. Jakes said, I ain't having it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
And
You
really,
need to put me in a place to do it, and I'm doing it. Okay, so this is the backlash. Oh, well, deal with it.
Yeah. And the people who are on that higher level, they're not dissuaded by this. They're not
fazed by it at all.
So you know who you are based on how you respond to these things.
Yeah.
Do you allow yourself to be distracted?
Viata says, my father said those same words all the time. Expect the unexpected, because when you expect the good that you do to be recognized by evil powers, setting yourself up for disappointment.
I mean, what did we learn from the life of the one we know as Jesus, Yeshua? What did we learn? Here's somebody who's healing people, who is sharing food, manifesting food to feed multitudes of people. And those who were in power were trying to find some way to trip him up, to accuse him of wrongdoing so they could throw him into jail and execute him. It was all about the jealousy of what he was doing, which was transforming the mind, heart, and spirit of a people so they would no longer succumb to oppression.
Can't do that. Throw them away. Throw them under the jail.
Yes. So when people are engaged in freeing people, those who want to keep you in bondage will attack them. So that lets you know who the people are that are trying to keep you in bondage. Look at those who are attacking one who's trying to free you.
Amen. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, my sister. And thank all of you for watching this video today. I hope that we have said something that's going to make a difference in the quality of your life, so that you can go out and share that with someone, because the crucifixion is not ours to give. It's just not. So we have to be reminded to do the things that we need to do in order to be mindful, and that is to stay mindful, stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. Okay. So when they come to you with this garbage, you already ready. You ain't trying to hear that.
Distraction, sleight of hand. What are they trying? What are they really trying to do to you while you're not looking?
In the words of Bugs Bunny, that's all, folks. Well, I've got to play our ending before we go here. I want to thank you for sharing and watching and being of sound mind and not listening to the garbage, because it's all garbage. Go within, baby. That's where your power is.
It is.
Tune in tomorrow, Asada.
But you can hear every show in the archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV show, listen to our radio shows, order our book, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China,
Sheshe.
India,
Andaman.
Japan,
Arigato.
Korea, Kamsahamnida,
Kamsahamnida.
Spasiba, Germany, Danke, Poland,
Jankuya.
France, Merci,
Merci.
Spain, Gracias,
Gracias.
Italy, Gracias,
Gracias.
Egypt, Shukran,
Shukra.
Ghana, Madasi,
Madasi.
Nigeria, Eshe,
Eshe.
South Africa, Niamonga,
Yabamba.
Senegal, Jeret,
Zeret.
Kenya, Asante,
Asante.
Israel, Toda,
Toda.
Pakistan, Shukriya,
Shukriya.
Afghanistan, Tashakur,
Tashakur.
Saudi Arabia, Shukran,
Shukra.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you, and the mercy of God, and God's blessings.
Thank you for sharing this video. Somebody needs to hear it besides.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, letting me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Got your head right.
Grand Rising, and thank you so much for joining me. Grand Rising, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks, the stressologist. Any stress in your life? Well, most of us do. Unfortunately, we don't know what to do with that stress, especially as it relates to worry. I was once a worried about everything, and I finally figured it out with some training. Yeah, I've been certified with the American Society of Training and Development, National Speakers Association, and a host of others. But none of those organizations helped me stop worrying. They just gave me validation for the public to see what credentials I have. So the credentials I have now are from life experience, and I've learned how not to worry. And you can learn how not to worry too. It is indoctrinated in us to worry. We don't have the answers, so we think the worst is going to happen. Well, I got a solution to that, and that is the Worry Workshop. So I'm going to pull that up for you on my blog. Why do you worry when you don't have to? Go to my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com, and you can sign up right there and find out how you. And remember, sharing is caring. If you care about yourself and your loved ones, help them see their way out of a mess. Give them the gift. It makes a great birthday gift. It makes a great holiday gift. So instead of running to the store getting something that they really might not need, give them a worry-free life. Give them the gift of a worry-free existence. And thanks for sharing. Make it a great day. Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with Zelda Speaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing. Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with Zelda Speaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing.
Attention all talented teens ages 13 to 19. Are you ready to show the world what you've got? We're excited to announce the latest global virtual teen talent contest, where you win cash prizes and scholarships by performing your unique talent. Here's how to participate. 1. Record a 1-minute video of yourself performing your talent. 2. Upload the video, link in description or comments. 3. Submit your video by the deadline. We're looking for a wide range of talents, from singing and dancing to magic tricks and comedy skits. So whether you're a musician, an actor, or a chef, we want to see your unique talent. The top talents will be selected by a panel of judges and will be announced shortly after. So don't wait, start filming, and good luck.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Hi, I'm Akil. And you're watching the Betty Shabazz podcast training on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah.